All right, roll call. Dawn? Marita? Kimberly? Gina? Jim, yes. Jeff is not here. Rich? Yes. All right. I'm going to read the notice for the public hearing here. New Russia Township Zoning Board of Commission, notice of public hearing on proposed zoning changes. The Zoning Commission of New Russia Township will hold a public hearing on proposed amendments to the New Russia Township resolution, which was initiated by a property owner application. The hearing will be held at the Administrative Office of New Russia Township in the Cedar East Room at 46300 Butternut Ridge Road, Overland, Ohio, 44074 on December 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m. The updates proposed to amend the zoning map for the following 8 parcels. The 8 parcels with owners and addresses are listed. And those are from R11 and GP1 to IP1. The application and map for the proposed amendment will be available for examination for a period of 10 days from December the 1st, 2025 to December 11th, 2025 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Administrative Office of New Russia Township at 46300 Butternut Ridge Road, Overland, Ohio. The application will also be available online at newrussiatownship-ohio.gov. After conclusion of the hearing, the matter will be submitted to the Board of Trustees for further action. James Griner, Chairperson, New Russia Township Zoning Board Commission. There was also a letter of notice of public meeting or public hearing that was mailed out to adjacent and across the street landowners. I'll read the statement of policy. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to the Commission's established and publicly available rules of procedure. It may be recorded. Such recording is a public record. All attendees, including Commission members and staff, are expected to behave in an orderly, non-disruptive manner. Applicants will be granted an opportunity to make their formal presentation. The audience may then be granted an opportunity to comment, followed by the applicant's response and questions from the Commission. Public comments shall be limited to designated time periods, directed to the Commission, of relevance to the Commission's business and the topic at hand, and limited to 3 minutes per person unless otherwise authorized. The Chair reserves the right to restrict the number of times a member of the public is permitted to speak to only once per authorized comment period, and may enact any other reasonable ad hoc protocols necessary to maintain a fair, safe, and orderly meeting. These policies were adopted by the Commission to provide for the respectful, constructive, and efficient discussion of business, and to allow for due process as required by law. If you are planning on speaking tonight, you need to be sworn in, so if you could stand or raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this matter to be truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? If so, answer I do. I do. Thank you. All right, the declaration of notice and the advertisement date. The legal notice was placed on the New Russia Township website and Facebook page on 11/25/25. A PDF of the application for proposed map amendments was placed on the New Russia Township website on 11/25/25. The notice of public hearing letters were mailed to adjacent and across the street landowners on 11/25/25. The legal notice was published in the Chronicle Telegram on 12/1/25. The exhibits that will be presented tonight are these public hearing slides that I'm presenting now. The application for the map amendment ZC 2025-277, which was submitted on 10/22/25. Amended application ZC 2025-277 for map amendment 11/11/2025. The applicant's presentation and the Lorraine County Planning Commission's response. Drew. Drew Siley from Liberty Development.
Good evening. My name is Drew Siley with Liberty Development, as Mr. Greiner said. I appreciate the commission hearing our request tonight. Our presentation, we're going to take a few minutes to walk through clarifying the site, the exact area that we're requesting the rezoning, how we arrived at the site as a potential development opportunity, and then talking about how this site does in fact meet the goals and objectives in the New Russia Township land use plan. So the zoning map, as you can see it, color's not great here, it's washed out. The western border of the site is Levitt Road, Route 58, bounded by Russia Road on the south, and then Oberlin Road. There is one parcel on the east side of Oberlin Road, and then to the north by the township line with Amherst Township. As you can see, this is within the enterprise zone that was established in 1994, so this has been identified as a potential development area for approximately 30 years. What you see here is, and this is similar to the map we shared on Monday night at the informational meeting, these are the parcels that we have under contract and that we are requesting be rezoned at this time. For clarification to the commission, this summary here shows you all the parcels, the total acreage, which is approximately 622 acres, that we're requesting to be rezoned from R1 agricultural, residential, and GB general business. So there's a mix of both of those types of zoning on the site. The initial application we made in October, these were the parcels. We amended the application then to include an additional parcel on Route 58, that just came up there. And then again, these are all the parcels we have under contract. That last parcel is not part of this request at this time. Due to a timing issue with the application, we just recently put that under contract. So again, talk about the enterprise zone. These are some of the tenets of an enterprise zone. An enterprise zone is established in order to encourage development. So it provides the township and the county with tools to offer incentives for development, and it's targeting industrial commercial development. It's not for residential typically. And what you see here is some of those tenets, including things like create and retain jobs, provide tax relief, support specific industries. And again, talking about why we identify this site as an opportunity, simple things like it's relatively flat land that's tilled, very little wetlands on the site. It's on a state route, Route 58. There are utilities available. It is inside of an enterprise zone. And it also has been identified as a development area in the township's land use plan. As evidenced by the rezoning on the airport last year to industrial park, to IP, which was approved by the township, we're making that same request. We're asking that the property, that the parcels we've shown and include in our application be rezoned to industrial park to match the zoning that was granted to the airport last year. There's been conversation about farmland preservation. And again, what you see here is in the land use plan from 2013, it identifies the farmland preservation district or border as the northern border of that is Russia Road, which is the southern border of the area we're asking to be rezoned. So you can see that same map in the overall township layout, where the airport sits, where the enterprise zone is, and where the parcels we're asking to be rezoned are included. That's outside of the farmland preservation district. Lorain County has 98,000 acres of tillable land that's currently being farmed. The 622 acres we're asking to be rezoned represent less than 1% of that total acreage. It's also important to note that it's not industrial park or IP zoning and being developed for advanced manufacturing, tech kinds of projects, or nothing. Currently, the property is zoned for general business, which there's about 60 acres of that along Route 58. So we have about 3,000 feet of frontage. It goes about 800 feet into the site. So that 60 acres or so could be developed today under the existing zoning for a whole host of commercial uses, including gas stations, car dealerships, office buildings. All of that is available right now without any changes. The balance of the site that we're asking to be rezoned is zoned residential, agricultural 1 acre, or 2 acre, I'm sorry. It allows for single family homes on 2 acre sites under the existing zoning today. That could be approved and built today. And on the acreage we have right there, in that the balance of the site, it means we could put more than 200 homes on that site today. Again, in the land use plan, other objectives that are clearly articulated in that plan, and they're spelled out here, I won't read them all, but it has to do with things like improving water and sewer throughout the township, throughout the county. This site was able to leverage the opportunity to potentially develop here to put in water and sewer lines. The county was awarded almost $68 million through the All Ohio Future Funds earlier this year to pay for those improvements. And that aligns with these objectives that were identified in that plan. How do you put as many folks as you can on potable water, on sewer, get away from septic? And how do you develop that over time? One of the things we talked about Monday night was, this is a development over time. The idea that had been floated early, and where the mega site terminology came from, is that it would likely be one big user for the property. What Jobs Ohio, the state of Ohio, Team NEO, who presented the other night, the county, the leads they're seeing is it'll probably be a multitude of users on this site, and the property will be built out over time. So there's water and sewer and gas and electric at the site today. There's capacity to start developing the site today. But to build out the entire site, those other improvements have to happen, and again, that aligns with the land use plan. And then lastly, just the map for reference that we have related to the request. I'm joined by Kevin Butler from McDonald Hopkins, our representation on this project, and we are available to answer any questions the commission may have, so thank you. Yes.
All right, thanks, Drew. Let this next thing back up. All right, next is the Lorraine County Planning Commission response. On 10/22/25, the application for proposed map amendments was submitted to the Lorraine County Planning Commission. On 11/12/25, the amended application for proposed map amendments was submitted to the Lorraine County Planning Commission. The Planning Commission met on 11/20/25 to review the ZBC submission. The Planning Commission submitted a response to the zoning board on 11/21/25. The Planning Commission voted to accept their staff recommendations on proposed amendments to the zoning resolution. The staff recommendation is to accept the amendment with the following considerations. Most of the adjoining properties are zoned IP1 Industrial Park District, along with sporadic R11 agricultural residential mixed amongst the zoned IP1, mainly sitting on Russia Road. GB1 general business is also abutting the proposed properties along the west side of Levitt Road. According to the existing land use plan from 2013, the proposed rezoning area is in an enterprise zone. Since the area is adjacent to an existing IP1 industrial park district and large enough to function as an IP1 on its own, the staff recommendation is to approve the amendment. So what is the path forward? The zoning commission is to vote to recommend to the trustees the approval, denial, or approval with modifications of proposed amendments. Any changes to the current proposed amendments will consider the applicant's presentation, recommendations from the planning commission, public comments from this public hearing, and our zoning board discussion. The trustees will hold a public hearing within 30 days of receiving the ZBC recommendation on proposed amendments. Zoning processes still apply to any commercial development in the township, including site plan reviews, architectural reviews, zoning permits, conditional use permits, commercial building permits, etc. All right, so we're coming up on the public comment section here. Any public comments made during this meeting shall be made from the recognized podium, which is the table here in the middle. Please use the microphone that is provided. All comments shall be directed to the zoning commission. Neither the commission nor staff is obligated to respond to or answer any public comment or question. The commission shall give all public comments the weight they are due. The comment period is limited to 1 hour of duration. Per ZBC procedures, comments will be taken in the following order: adjacent landowners, property owners within approximately 500 feet of the subject property, township residents at large, and any other interested member of the public. Continuing, comments shall be limited to proposed map amendments. You will be asked to sit down if the comment is off topic. One person at a time, use the microphone at the table, state your name and address, up to 3 minutes per person. This will be timed. We have a timer there in the middle. No person may yield their time in whole or in part to another person. So to start this off, and make sure we get through everything. The adjacent landowners, this is adjacent and across the street landowners. You were sent a letter of notice of the public hearing. If you got one of those and would like to speak, you may want to line up. I'm going to go alphabetically through the list of adjacent landowners in order to make sure that we get through all of those. Whoever would want to speak on that. First is Denise and Gregory Anderson. Present?
The first question is,
Ma'am,
I'm
state your
Denise
name.
Anderson. Denise Anderson,
Okay, and current address?
44919 Albrecht Road.
Thank you.
It says that the award that's given is approximately 67.4 million. And is that in totality, is there going to be any kind of financial obligation for any of the residents to have to pay anything that is not covered under this award letter? Or award?
Please provide your comment. We're not responding to the comments. Is
any of the residents going to be financially obligated to help to pay for this construction project?
When do we get the answers to these questions?
This is a comment period. Please provide your comments to the commission.
Oh, there's no questions. It's only comments.
Correct. Wait.
So what's the point?
Cindy.
Are we at risk of, is there going to be issues of eminent domain going on with the property owners if we're not willing to do this? I'm concerned about eminent domain issues. I spent a lot of money on my new house on Albrecht. I'm concerned about the road being widened. I'm concerned about flooding. I'm concerned about pollution, noise, my property value. Culture of the township.
Next, Leslie and Louis Verdica. Okay, would like to talk?
My name is Leslie Verdecia. My husband and I purchased property on Albrecht. We don't live there yet, but have plans to build our home next year. And now this has all come up. So my concerns are the same as Mrs. Anderson on what's gonna happen with the landowners on Albrecht. I think everyone here wants the same thing, to keep the community the same. No noise, peaceful, the sky dark. That's the reason why we purchased the land here. And it's just sad to see if this goes through. So just saying from the bottom of my heart, if you would please consider not allowing the rezone. Thank you.
Penny and Dane Better. Aaron Grimke,
That's me, I'm here, sir.
would you like to speak?
Hello, I'm Dane Becker.
Please use the microphone.
Yes, just like the lady before me, bought a couple acres over on Russia Road to build a home. Just concerned how we end up selling if it's gonna be around concrete. But that's our concern, and I don't know which way I wanna go with the zoning. If you're gonna zone industrial all around me, you might as well just zone mine industrial. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Mark Brisker. All right, Sandra and Bobby Caldwell. William Collins. Charles Conway. Gretchen and Adam Dupko. All right, Judy Emmerich. Lori Ann Fisher. Or James Opalaki. 5S Incorporated. Jonathan or Gina Frazier. William Goodwin. Lisa Gregory. Mildred Dolores Hall.
For Mildred Dolores Hall, that's my mother. She's 96 years old.
Okay.
We live at 9695 Levitt Road. She just wants me to ditto the previous speakers. She doesn't want to see it happen, and I thank the other prior speakers for their time. Thanks.
Thank you. Jaretta Hism. Steve and Diane Jackson.
Sorry, I don't have much voice. I live on Oberlin Road right now, but we have a farm on Route 58 across from Plesnick and Huron County Holdings, and it stands to be significantly affected by the proposed rezoning. We expect property value to be negatively impacted. If the development occurs, we expect more traffic, making it more difficult to access the property with farm equipment than it is now. We have to move equipment from Oberlin Road up to 58, so this kind of development totally pretty much shuts us off from getting to our other farm. The potential for increased environmental impacts remains to be seen, as no potential user has been named. So we're guessing on what is involved in the pollution, light and air and water that will affect our property. The landfill operating in the township has all kinds of zoning rules that govern its operation, yet we do not have odors from it at our house on Oberlin Road. Yet we have odors from it on Oberlin Road. The landfill leaves mud and trash on township roads and frequently has dust clouds coming from it. Why does the township want more industry to move here if it can't control the industry it has now through zoning? The majority of the property being considered for the zoning it was purchased after the 2013 land use plan was adopted. These owners should have had no illusions when they purchased this ground that they could sell it for industrial use, since it was all labeled farmland preservation area in the land use plan. And that is incorrect what the developer said, so I'm going to show you in a minute what I'm talking about. It's map 4-1, and I'm going to continue reading. Lorraine County Planning Commission recommendation to New Russia Township Zoning Commission was not based on accurate information. Most of the adjoining properties are zoned IP1 Industrial Park District. This is not accurate. 2 of the 8 parcels adjoin IP1, the other 6 adjoin R11, and 3 of those adjoin GB1. The adjoining GB1 parcels are currently farmed or have residents on them. The future land use map 4-1, if you would put that up, in the 2013 land use plan shows the GB1 area as mixed-use office, general business, residential. The land use plan recommends including mixed residential uses in this GB1 area. According to the existing land use plan from 2013, the proposed rezoning area is in an enterprise zone. This is true. But the map 4-1 shows the enterprise zone layered over the farmland preservation area. It's actually north of Russia Road. It is not south of it, which includes the area north of Russia Road. So,
Thank you. Steve, do you want to talk also? Okay. Joel and Stephanie Giacochetti. All right, Michael and Glenda Johnson. Pamela Kay. William Kovalek. Cassidy Kowalski. Victoria Lance. Mark Law. Lorraine County Board of Commissioners.
They're not here.
Marilyn. Aaron Mason.
My name is Aaron Mason, and I reside at 45589 Russia Road in New Russia Township, where I've lived for 22 years. Prior to that, I lived right next door in my childhood home, which is now owned by my son after my dad's passing last year. Both of these properties are directly across the street from parcels requesting a zoning change from agricultural residential to industrial. Aside from major concerns such as, and contradictory to what Mr. Siley said, I sat in on the land use committee in October, their meeting, The survey that is going around now overwhelmingly does not support this type of development with the residents. It is not one that At Monday's informational meeting, we were told, don't worry, it'll take up to 10 years to complete. Is it truly reasonable to expect any person to manage living with construction noise, traffic congestion, and disruption to everyday life for an entire decade? And the only people set to gain anything from this type of development are the owners selling their properties, the development company, the City of Vermilion's wastewater treatment plant, and the companies coming in receiving tax abatement. My biggest concern is that we don't know what it will be. We were just told at Monday's meeting that there is no end user. It could be one user or multiple. How can this township rezone 583 acres, or now up to 622 as we heard tonight, with no idea what will be done to it? When I closed off my garage facing my backyard last year, I had to submit a drawing to scale about what I was gonna do with my own personal property. We are being asked to change hundreds of acres with no actual plan in place on farmland that is currently producing crops and has been for decades. This is not vacant, unused land. It is thriving agriculture that needs to remain as is. If this zoning board approves or recommends the request to rezone these parcels from agricultural residential to industrial, especially with no plan in place, they are not working for the people of this township. New Russia Township stands nothing to gain from this, but everything to lose. I urge you to deny the request to rezone this land.
Karen McKillips. Robert or Heather Miller. Richard Plesnick. Rudolph Reinhold. James Roman.
I'm James Roman at 45549 Russia Road. My neighbor, my fiance, and my soon-to-be stepson over there. We live right there. We own 3 homes. Like piggybacking off of her pretty much, if we don't know what this is that's going there, we rezone it. And as they said at the other meeting, that we still have to say what goes there. But that also, in my opinion, opens us up for a lawsuit to a company that wants to come there that we don't want, that they go, hold on, wait a minute. It's zoned this, and underneath my company, I'm zoned that. And how are you gonna tell me no? So if this goes, I feel that that company, if we don't want it there, can open up a lawsuit because we're discriminating against their company. So I feel, until we know what's going in that property, Pacific, I don't think we should rezone it. We could do this 6 months from now. We could do this 5 years from now. We could do this 10 years from now if this is how long it's gonna take. So I say, what's the rush? If you don't know what's going in there, what's the rush? Is it for the $67-some million for the drain? Lorraine County, you need that for Vermillion, South Amherst, and everybody, like you said, and the airport. As the commissioner said that they want to rebuild the airport, has nothing to do with Jobs Ohio, New or nothing like that, then it's gonna happen at the airport. And I feel that they're trying to sacrifice our land in New Russia Township to do their job at the airport and to save other cities. And I'm gonna give my time, and I'm gonna make sure everybody can speak, so I say we wait, bring it back to the table when they're ready to tell us who wants to go there.
Mohammed Salem. Mark Jeffrey Schitteman. Leah or Marshall Sims. Brenda or Barry Spring? State of Ohio? State of Ohio Department of Transportation? Virginia Nord? Or William Tipton? Peter Ulichny? Or Jolene and Kevin Williams? All right, that is the adjacent or across the street landowners.
I live across the street. Yeah, these are my neighbors.
Did you get a letter?
Because there is one little piece of land that's not under the rezoning right across the street from me. But it is
All right.
right across the street.
I don't recall getting a letter, it's right on 45185 Russian Road, it's
There's
directly
there's
across.
a little piece of land that's part of rezoning.
Come on up and talk.
Wait. I did the survey. The next is 500 feet adjacent.
Come on up and talk.
45309, right across the street.
Well, you're 500 feet adjacent, you're up.
You're up next. Just let me get to it. The next is the 500 feet, within 500 feet. Sally or William Carter. Aaron or Jeffrey Davis. Thank you.
The fact that I didn't receive notice is kind of ridiculous because as I look out in the front, I'm not gonna see a little 50 feet parcel that's not rezoned. What I'm gonna look out is see an industrial plant that may not have smokestacks, but don't worry, the landscaping will cover it. That's what was told on Monday. Anybody else remember that? I purchased that land because I did not want to live in a cookie cutter suburban area. I didn't want to do it. I don't want to look out and read my book in the morning and drink coffee and stare at my next door neighbor's window. Hi. Didn't want to do that. I wanted to look out and I want to see what I see now. I want to see eagles flying. I want to see the corn growing in the summer. I want to see fallen snow right now in the winter. And I apologize, as a lot of people read my email, Team Neo and Liberty are clueless. We don't want this. We don't want to be rezoned. We don't want to go towards the next one. I'm not really sure what these people expected us to want. Oh sure, give up 638 acres of farmland. 1%, that was the same thing Jeff Rydell told me in his office. It's only 1% of farmland. 1% of farmland is a big deal in Lorraine County. And that's 10% of our acreage in New Russia Township. So please deny this zoning request. Keep our New Russia Township the way we want it and the way we live there right now. This is going to destroy our house. This is going to destroy our property value. This is going to destroy our entire way of life out here. And anybody in this room want it? Raise your hand. Not one person. So open your eyes and realize that we do not want this and do not rezone this property. Thank you.
Marcia and Thomas Earls. All right, Phyllis and Jesse Golden. Gerald and Sherry Heffernan. Shirley Law. Mark and Linda McNulty. Andrea and Jimmy Morris. Oh, McNulty, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I am Mark McNulty, I live at 45185 Russia Road, directly across from the site. I've been there for 21 years. The first thing that comes to mind is the land use and the enterprise zone plan plans that have been cited, one is from 1994, one is from 2013, if I understand correctly. That's quite a long time ago. I mean, things have really changed in the last 10 years, certainly in the last 30 years. You know, which I think the enterprise zone was from 2013, but, you know. 94, okay, so 31 years ago, it was decided that, you know, this was targeted as a potential. Now, in the 21 years that I've lived there, there's a lot more homes in this area now, you know, and I think that, I mean, I can understand the gentleman from Liberty, you know, they did their due diligence, they looked at this site, targeted as a potential based on the plans that were on record, the enterprise zone plan and the land use plan, but I think those are too outdated. And I think that, you know, just given the presence here and, you know, the signs, I mean, people are asking me about it just based on the signs, you know, and I think that would indicate that maybe we need to revisit those plans. And I mean, nobody wants this. I really don't want this thing to happen. You know, I'm locked in financially. I'm not going to be able to move, and it would just be horrible for us. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Andrea and Jimmy Morris. Charles Weiser. Laura and Richard Stanislow. Well, Laura Stanfield and Richard Stanislow. Frank Searcy. Dennis Toth. And Julie Ann Wigton. All right, that was the list for the 500 feet adjacent, minus the other adjacent landowner. All right, we move on to township residents at large. Please come to the table with your microphone. Whoever wants to speak.
I'll go first. First of all, very disappointed that information was not provided to us ahead of time that they presented. It's interesting you guys didn't share that with us with the application. But anyhow, I was also disappointed to hear that the zoning commission did not consider my email that I drafted and sent over, because I did read the land use plan. I also read New Russia zoning. I sent an email that actually lists out all the examples and has citations inside of it, but I kind of threw my email out because I want to comment directly to the presentation we just received. So first of all, an enterprise zone does not indicate that it needs to be rezoned. That is a possible tax designation that the trustees have the ability to initiate if they want to. Now, if you read the land use plan, if we could pull that map back up, that'd be really great to read it, because they kind of missed something. So west of Oberlin Road, it is enterprise zone, but it is cross-hatched. It is also farmland preservation. They stood up there and told us that was commercial or possible business development. That is east of Oberlin Road, actually. So if we could pull that back up, that was incorrect information that was provided. Also, we were told they had 2 points. They had that point, and then they had the sewer point, which anybody who's been to any meetings related to the county knows that the sewer is not going to, actually I wrote down what they said on the slide, provide a public sanitary sewer system to residents, to benefit residents. Wouldn't that indicate that you guys are able to use the sewer if they put it in? So the county engineer actually told us that it's a forced pressure system, which Chad has actually explained a lot to me here recently about that, which means it's impossible for the residents to tap into that system. So I'm not quite sure how that benefits them. So also, if we read the land use plan, it's very clear in the zoning and in the land use plan that any commercial projects must benefit the township. We have had no demonstration of benefit here. So we're looking at possibly no taxes. We are looking at negatives of a lot of possible pollution. And there is the possibility of jobs, which nobody here is asking for a commercial industrial complex to work at right now. But we also don't know if it will be that. That would actually be best case scenario, because it could end up being a data center, which would employ like, what, 50 people over a 2,000 acre piece of cement. So that's not very good. What else? Oh, I just want to make sure that the first item on my email is just making sure that the zoning commission understands this is their decision. One, the Lorraine County commissioners and their planning commission made that very clear at the meeting. I was at that meeting. They also made that very clear to us on Tuesday, I think it was, in the mega site meeting, that it is all completely up to you guys. So you guys got to own this one, because they said it's all up to you guys. It's also, if you read Ohio Attorney General Opinion 2003-022, it's explained that it is also up to you guys. And also we can read Ohio Revised Code 303.22 and understand that it is up to you guys. So that's very important. What else? So, on that note, there is parcel east of Overland Road. There's 83 acres. That is in the area that they said
Thank you.
possible commercial development, so I think you guys can rezone that. Thank you.
Oh, what was your name and address again?
Oh, sorry. James Caleb, 1004 Pound South Amherst Road, Overland.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Brendan Ortiz. I live at 48385 State Route 511 in Oberlin. I want to begin by saying thank you for hearing our comments today. We would like some answers, but we acknowledge the weight that you all hold in these decisions, and we respect the responsibility you guys do hold. Similarly, I want to clarify that we don't want to be here today to fight about the topic of development, but do want to stand with you as neighbors who love this community and just want to protect what makes it so special. And I think we've heard a lot about what makes it special to us here tonight. The acreage being discussed for rezoning today does not consist of empty fields, nor poor nutrient quality, and you know that. The land in this area is high producing and has been stewarded for generations by members of our community. I remember growing up at 4-H and scouts being taught to have an appreciation of the land that hosts us. So when plans like this are overcome by the shared thoughts and opinion of our community, all calling for a reevaluation of the project as such, it might be in our own best interest to hear them out, take that into consideration, and rid any plans for development at all. The people in this room are here to actively represent the shared thoughts and opinions of New Russia Township and are committed to pushing this project in a direction that makes more sense for the area we're in. And we urge you too to take accountability towards this. We heard, right, the responsibilities on you guys. The township's own land use plan has already outlined this area or the area adjacent as preservation farmland. Rezoning it to the industrial would not just ignore this plan, it would break faith with the very people it was designed to protect. Up until now, there's been very little transparency nor explanation as to what would be built on this advanced technology center, mega site, or whatever you may call it. Though, just at this meeting the past Monday, none of the questions were really answered. None of them were publicly displayed, and none of them were publicly displayed or necessarily really even answered. One big concern I have and one big question is, as we're taking away our farmland and as we're expanding more industrial area into that area, which is currently rural, one person may work a lot, but we don't have a lot of community or business infrastructure there. Are we going to build more grocery stores? We're seeing grocery stores closing out every day, grocery prices going up. If we're going to put a little micro city of a factory or a plant, are we going to provide a food source for the workers that may go there even if we do create jobs? At this meeting this past Monday, it seemed like the planners gave us reason after reason as to why we should be okay with this project, but most of our concerns were ignored in exchange for platitudes which we know hold zero ground, especially when other large developments like the landfill just ignore residents' complaints about localized air pollution. The real dangers to this land we're facing are not from industrialization, but from this form of industrialization in this particular piece of our township. Once that piece is industrial, it's gone forever. So I want to end by saying I stand in agreement with everyone here who opposes the rezoning and supports keeping these parcels aligned to the goals of New Russia Township. And with that being said, we're simply asking you to stand together with the community in defense of the land that defines us. And we ask you as the Lorraine County Zoning Commission to please not pass the land amendment proposal. Thank you.
Jim Novick. I live at 10560 Overland Road. That makes me about, I'm about 2 lots south of the area that's being proposed to be rezoned. For me, I lived in Pennsylvania, and my property on 15 acres of wooded and a stream plenty of fresh air. I came to Oberlin, built a house there, seeing the grass, seeing the farm, oxygen producing plants. I said, yeah, this is where I can live. I'd like to live here. Now, putting that industrial park across from my house, where each morning I get up, will be staring at ugly buildings, breathing polluted air, listening to traffic noise and traffic pollution, that's not the type of life I want to finish off in this area. So please, give us something we can live with, not something that will put us to die. Please do not show them that land industrial. The forest land was rezoned, it was snuck in. I came to the meetings that we were not even allowed to talk. The only thing we heard was that Illyria will take it over if New Russia doesn't rezone it. Thank you.
My name is Bobby Caldwell. I live across from there, 45509 Russia Road. Since you said you weren't answering questions, I kind of got a little discouraged and didn't want to grab the mic. But after listening to all my neighbors, and I agree with everyone that's got up here and said, I don't want to see that be industrial. I moved out here over 20 years ago, decided to drive an hour each way to go to work because I wanted to live out here. Hopefully I'm going to retire come April. I surely don't want to retire in the middle of a construction zone. So I hope you decide to listen to everyone in here that says, we don't really want this, right? There's a lot of reasons you might, a lot of reasons some people in here might say it's okay. I don't think it's okay. I want my granddaughter to want to come to my house because she's getting away from the city, getting away from all that. I worked heavy industry for a long time. We didn't listen to the rules. You heard people in here tonight say they weren't listening at the I'm going to say the dump, but the landfill, thank you. But I'm listening to my neighbors. I see my wife sitting back here tearing up, and I think about all the issues it's going to bring that we don't even know yet. So I want to thank you for your time, and please don't do it.
My name's John Pardee. I live at 47391 Garfield Road. I've been a proud New Russia Township resident for the last 10 years. I love this community. I love these people. When I came to the other meeting the other night, when the speakers were getting up to talk, as I do, I started researching everybody. And the one thing that kind of struck me, it was a little odd, is that a lot of the folks that got up and spoke had some connective tissue to the first energy scandal of House Bill 6 of several years back. And it kind of, I started seeing things over and over because I started seeing a pattern. Two of the speakers from Team Neo and from County Development, the law firm that's here today, the law firm that was here the other time, all of them are connected to First Energy. So being, and there's a lot of money at stake, so it makes sense that there may be concern for these citizens and maybe not all this is on the up and up. So today, I actually had a luncheon with somebody who used to be in the county. I'm not gonna say who they are or what their role was, but it was revelatory. To the point where I intend to go to the FBI later this week and discuss with them the things that I learned. So my concern for you as Township Zoning Board members is, if anybody ever came to you with either an inducement or some type of threat, it's probably going to come out. So I would caution you to be very careful about how you go forward, because I think there's stuff that's going on under the surface that's going to come out. And I don't think the folks in New Russia Township or the zoning board wants to be involved in that. So I would recommend to you that you tap the brakes, let this thing work out, because there's a lot going on. There's a reason they're pushing this so hard and so fast. So please do the right thing and listen to these good people. Thank you.
My name is Brad Lacko. I represent the Lorain County Farm Bureau Board of Trustees. Our statement that we have made at our last meeting of November 6th and issued publicly. The Lorain County Farm Bureau is committed to protecting productive farmland, supporting responsible land use decisions, and ensuring a strong future for agriculture in our region. Consistent with the Ohio Farm Bureau Federation's support for farmland preservation and local control of land use planning, we believe that large-scale industrial development proposals must be carefully reviewed for their long-term impact on our rural community and the viability of agriculture in our area. In keeping with that principle, we encourage landowners and local decision makers to prioritize farmland preservation. Our local leaders have the tools to support both the agricultural heritage and the economic future of Lorain County. With this in mind, we strongly question if either the sewer project or the mega site will balance this agricultural foundation with other economic interests of our community. This project must be given a comprehensive and transparent review and allow for robust discussion with the community. Agriculture has been a vital industry in Lorain County since its inception, and we must make sure that agriculture remains the backbone of its economic future. No mega site, no sewer, keep it rural.
Wayne Prechtel. I live 43925 Russia Road. I've been there for 55 years. When I moved out there, if I had to go to the mailbox, I just had to watch out for maybe a farm wagon coming down the road or something like that. Now you have to wait your turn with all the vehicles coming down, getting on 480, going south or wherever they're going. Oberlin Road, Russia Road is just a lot of traffic now. We started out, we had the landfill. We gave in to them with different things to the south side of Russia Township. Then guess what? The airport comes in. Eminent domain. They take that property. Walter Schramm, who was my across the road neighbor, old fella farmed land. They came in there and they took his property, eminent domain. What could he do? They said, well, yeah, you can go ahead and live there until you die. Well, how did that make that old gentleman feel? Now they want to put a mega site down there on Russia Road and Oberlin Road. More traffic, more people, more everything. You don't even know what's going to go in there. They're telling you, oh, it's going to be some little factory or some little thing. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Do we want that? I don't want it. How many people here want it? Raise your hand. Are you happy? Are you for it? Are you against it? I can't hear you. Can you hear that? I can't hear you yet. Come on, tell me. Thank you.
I'm Debbie Gresh. I live on Russia Road. We built our house over 30 years ago. And the lady who was with Liberty Development on Monday, she made her presentation, the PowerPoint, and she showed the mega site. And she had, we need this large area for one development. Well, by the end of the evening, we're gonna have multiple. Well, she said they couldn't use brownfields because they're not big enough. Well, if you're gonna have multiple development, go use the brownfield. You don't need a mega site. There you go. So don't use our site, go to the smaller site. We moved to the country for the country area. And all of these speakers that were here Monday night, I bet you they live in the city. So it's easy for them to destroy the country environment. It means nothing to them, but to us, it's our lives. Don't destroy it.
Chad Arcaba from Arcaba Farms, 6240 Rocher Road. First of all, I sort of want to know if the guy from Liberty raised his hand and took that oath that everyone else took. Because I have the 4-1 map on my phone, and it clearly indicates the land north of Rocher Road is an agricultural preservation area. Another myth I want to dispel about this enterprise zone. This enterprise zone isn't unique to this area or this site. The enterprise zone stretches from here all the way up to Lake Erie. It's a zone that was established by the county and the state in 1994. This isn't something special that only is right here on this site. So just so everybody knows that. I also want to do one better. I want everyone to stand up that is against this mega site. Stand up so we can show these people clearly who is for this and who's against this. As you can see by this hall full of people, I don't see anyone sitting down. So, yeah, hey, all right. You can all be seated. So the decision this commission makes about the zoning of these parcels will have a far-reaching impact on New Russia Township, the surrounding communities, and Western Lorraine County as a whole. The sewer system associated with this county's plan will sign the death warrant of agricultural in Western Lorraine County, giving developers free rein to come and develop acre after acre of precious farmland. There's 600 acres at stake here. If the sewer goes through, there's thousands of acres at stake. There are many family farms in the surrounding area that are multi-generational operations. Many farms in the area are 6th and 7th generation farms that have put 7 lifetimes worth of hard work and sacrifice into the land. New Russia Township is the tip of the spear in Lorraine County to say whether or not we value our rural way of life, and whether or not our children will have the opportunity to continue what generations of our forefathers started. In conclusion, I hope the commission truly understands what's at stake here. The beginning of the end to our rural way of life, the opportunity for our children to thrive in agriculture, and protecting the land that God, the Creator, has entrusted to us. As stated earlier, this commission is the tip of the spear in protecting our way of life. I ask that you please listen to your heart and conscience when you cast your vote. Please do not let the unprofessional tactics of fellow board members, Mr. Greiner, and bullying by developers and politicians sway your thoughts. As you can see by the crowd standing before you, that you have the support of the community in the surrounding areas to do the right thing. There was a very important document that was handed to all of you that Mr. Greiner chose not to accept. I would ask and plead that you guys please read that document out loud to everyone in this hall so we can hear the truth instead of what Liberty has presented today, which is not the truth. Thank you.
Any other township residents?
Hi, I'm Kim Poland, 44625 Russia Road, just east of Oberlin Road, looking right at the airport. When the zoning commission is looking at possibly approving an application, they're supposed to look at public necessity, public safety, general welfare, good zoning practices, and township's adopted master plan. For public necessity, if this means necessity to the township residents, then I guess the number of signs that rezoning is not needed. We can see all the signs all throughout the whole, beyond New Russia Township. We don't want it. There's talk that there will be need of income, if there is even any gonna come with it, if and when the landfill closes. The township has a spending problem, not an income problem. So we have as far as public safety, Lorraine County Fire and EMS service would severely be strained by large commercial development, and even more so for an airport expansion. To go off of what the other guy said about all the added extra traffic, extra people, we've already been robbed 3 times in the last 22 years. I don't need that happening again. General welfare, it's hard to believe that converting land from R11 to commercial or industrial use would improve the welfare of the majority of the township residents. The financial cost of the township to provide safety services will be enormous. The parcels under consideration are mostly owned by non-township residents. For good zoning practice, there are 46 adjoining parcels with 37 dwellings next to the area that has been requested to be rezoned. Several new homes have been built next to the requested area. The signs marking boundary of New Russia Township have the following statement: zoned for your protection. Where is the protection for these new homeowners and neighbors if this gets rezoned? I doubt the new homeowners would have built if they knew that the adjoining property was going to be rezoned. What will happen to the property values of the parcels in the area? Zoning could be changed to support the land use plan, not non-resident owned land for the benefit of the developer. In the middle of the proposed change area is a 40-acre parcel that will be surrounded by IP1 along with numerous other parcels along the roadways. This is not good zoning practice. Then they should also look at the township's adopted master plan. I'm going to try to talk fast. If you read through those, pages 1 through 5, it talks about how we have prime agricultural soils, and we have that, so why would you take that out of production? We have that right here in New Russia Township. Again, the farmland preservation area, that's also in the land use plan, that we don't want to get rid of that. And again, there are 37 people that live around that. So why would you rezone that just for 3 landowners and only 2 of them don't even live in New Russia Township?
Any additional township residents?
My name is Joe Socha. I live at 48347 Telegraph Road. I am a new resident. I just moved here this past year, and my plan was to start a family and live out in the country. I spent my entire life, grew up in Henrietta Township and out on the farm, and this is kind of like the way that I've always envisioned living, and I never wanted to change that, really. I'm a welder by trade, and I spend my days in industrial parkways and in industrial factories and businesses. And one thing that I see all the time are a company will come in, build their business, wreck the neighborhood basically, and then when it becomes not profitable anymore, they pick up, leave, and now there's an empty shell of unusable land. Once they get done with it, it's worthless. So this investment would do nothing for us, the people that have to deal with it.
Andrea Barlow, 43612 Parsons Road in New Russia Township. I just want to do a brief recap here of what I'm hearing tonight. Mr. Siley is basing his the reasoning for getting this rezoned based on our land use plan. I encourage you, our land use plan is online. Go on and read it. It does not encourage what they're saying. It doesn't. The other thing is that enterprise zone, yeah, it's enterprise, and it might typically be used for industry, but it doesn't mean it has to be used for industry at all. Last, and that enterprise zone, like was mentioned before, it goes to Lake Erie. There's more. They don't need to hit this. And if Brown properties aren't taking, offer them more money. They'll bite. Give them more money. That's what they want. Next, they have a strategic plan. The county has a strategic plan that they're counting on. That has the same worth as Chuck E. Cheese points. It has no value here at all. So let's figure out. Mr. Selly does not have good reasoning for coming and trying to get this rezoned. The sketchy past, I mean, that's enough. If someone knocks on my door, I'm not letting them in. And collectively, we are the residents of New Russia Township, of this area of Lorain County. Would we let these people in who we don't know, that we don't know what they're gonna do, what they're bringing into our home? We wouldn't let them in, so why would we approve this? We don't know what's coming. We don't know what's coming. I'm not gonna let someone in my home, and we're not collectively gonna let them into our home. Second, or the third thing is, economically, they already admitted they don't have enough money for this. They already said it. Where is it gonna come? The rest are taxes. And if you look at Virginia, North Carolina, out west, on average, utility costs have gone up 260%. I can't even believe the price of eggs cost as much as they cost, and yet we want to pay 260% more on our utility bills and water? Come on. And Dolan did say that a part of that mega site, it could be a data center, and it likely will be. A portion of it likely will be. It needs water. It needs electricity. A lot of it. We're talking 70 million gallons a day. A day. When farmers need 110 to do agriculture. So now they put us a fight against agriculture versus technology. So I speak to you, board, I beg of you to listen to what we're saying. Collectively, we don't want this. It's not good. And, you know, tech advancements, no one in this room is against tech advancements, but it has to be done correctly, ethically, and with our cooperation, not behind closed doors with people who have statute passes or pasts and all of the things that we aren't. We're honest, hardworking people.
I am Marion McKinney. I live at 11533 Levitt Road. They're talking about more traffic. If you don't live on 58 Levitt Road, you don't see it. I've had my child almost hit rear-ended twice, or a car going around them because they want to get out too fast, and almost killed right in front of my eyes. And then you have trucks with trailers passing 3, 4, 5 cars. But you want to put more traffic on this road for more people to act crazy. We moved from the city of Lorraine 3 years ago because we wanted country. And it's bad enough I hear the racetrack, but then you're going to hear a factory. And that's going to be louder than that racetrack. And it's going to be all the time. That's what I'm worried about.
My name is Stephen Burr. I own property on 44405 Hollier Road, and I also own a business, Bob's Tire, on Oberlin Road. And I grew up on Oberlin Road on the farm where this is all taking place. It's part of my family. My mom still lives there at 83 years old, at 9308. The one thing I don't want to see is at home and a whole bunch of stuff back in there in the industrial. In my business, I get to travel a whole lot of different places for in the tire industry, and I deal with OTR, ag, commercial. I have seen more development in farmland across this country and more in the state of Ohio than I have ever seen, that I ever thought I'd ever imagined. I never thought I would see the day that I'd see our farms destroyed. We're so important, we're so involved in wanting to take this land. I'm watching farms being shut down, cattle, dairy shut down because of EPA regulations. We got more regulations than we need right now. We've got money being offered to us, and take that money and put it to some good use. Put it into the farmers' hands. If the state's got money to give and to development, put it where it needs to be. And I am sorry about development. I heard this the other night. You didn't respond to this, but I'm going to respond to it. We're going to create jobs for young people so that they can come into a building that's pleasurable, that's nice. This is how we're going to train. We've got our trade center, the joint vocational school. We can't get people to come out of there for the trades. We can't get people to come to work now. More people are collecting on your dime. I'm struggling to find people for mechanics, tire checks, people that care about my community, about you. You are the reason I do what I do every day. Someone asked me why I didn't give up what I'm doing, why I keep doing it, and why I don't sell out to the big guys. It's because of this community and this county. And I will continue to fight for the farmer because I are one, and I will always be one till the day I die. Amen. Folks, I'm telling you, this is the wrong move, and you need to listen to what is happening here. It is not good. As a business owner, I don't see the benefits anywhere. I don't see any where it's going to help us. Go to Borden, Indiana, and Kentucky, where these new 680 acres have been taken over by industry. 6 areas are vacant because they can't get anybody to take and move into them. And they can't afford to run them, so it goes back onto the taxpayer. Call them, ask them. I just got done talking to them. It doesn't benefit us. It will come back to bite us.
Any additional township comments? Next is other than township residents.
Hi, my name is Janet Garrett. I'm a school board member in Oberlin. I'm an elected official like you are. And I urge you, as elected officials, as an elected official, it is my job to listen to the people that elected me. And I urge you tonight to listen to these people, because they have made it very clear how they want you to vote. I am here because I am very concerned about what is going. We don't even have a tenant for this site that's going to be developed. If they're going to break it up and use other, why don't they use the Midway Mall? Why don't they use the Ford? Why do we have to break up farmland for something that is not clear what is going to happen, except that we know there's going to be construction, we know there's going to be destruction, and we know there's going to be a lot of noise and pollution. And here's another thing that I don't ever hear anybody, there was one woman who mentioned it earlier, light pollution. You know, that's a concern for some people. Maybe you haven't thought about that, but that is a concern as well. Thank you.
Our 1 hour time is up, but it was one in line. Go ahead.
I was next.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Clark. I live in Oberlin on Forest Street. Many of you have seen me here before because I've been very active since the minute we've learned about this. I have a lot of things that I had planned to say, but our fellow residents have already said them very nicely. So instead, I'm going to bring up a couple of extra points. One, Sarah's Farms, who is being backed by Liberty, is the one who owns those properties. Sarah's Farms has been purchased by Wisdom Tree. Wisdom Tree is the United States' leading actionable organization for data centers and data farms and microchip manufacturing in the United States. The number one purview is to go after prime farmland within the United States because, especially in Ohio, we are a cold weather state, so we are good for cooling, and we have lots and lots of water and underground aquifers. All of this is going to lead to widespread massive pollution that we will not be able to contain, maintain, or endure within the next 20 years. It also leads to water usage that likely could lead to, across the United States, a war for water resources within the next 25 to 50 years. We have defense issues here. One is that any type of data center or large manufacturing center takes up large amounts of electricity on a national security grid and an electrical grid that we cannot maintain right now as it is. Even our president has said is our number one national security risk. So, how does that reflect what we're facing? These areas want to come in, these big corporations want to come in and they want to take prime farmland, and you guys keep on acting like it is fallow field. It is not. It is prime, developed farmland. It's taken generations to develop it, to not just be prime farmland, but farmland that overproduces. And you guys like to sit here and act like we are not intelligent by saying, well, it's just 1%. Well, 1% of Lorain County adds up, along with the other counties that we're looking at in Ohio, and the other counties that we're looking at in Pennsylvania, and in Illinois, and in Indiana, and all the other states that are facing the exact same fight we are fighting right now. And all of that is going to diminish and destroy our food base in a political environment that is placing tariffs on us, that literally wants to keep us from being able to feed ourselves. It is government control. So I ask you now, as my final 30 seconds, how much of a political career do you guys want? Because I guarantee if you vote for this, every person in this room is going to make sure that you do not work again in the political sector.
All right, this is the last comment unless
Let the man speak.
there was a 1 hour time period unless the committee wants to make a motion to extend. You're not part of the room. For what period? Dawn, what period of time? Is there a second?
Yes.
Hi,
Just a second. All right, vote on that motion. That was Dawn. Yes. Who made the?
I did, Gina.
Oh, Gina made the first motion?
No, I made.
Oh, the second, sorry. All right, so that was Dawn with vote? Yes. Gina? Yes. Marita? Kimberly? Yes. Jim? Yes. One more hour.
Hi, I'm Samuel Mingus, and I live at 14540 Russia Road, and I am against destroying farmland for industries. Jobs Ohio has said it is trying to bring industries that will still be here in 50 years, and that are generational investments. Farmland has been generational investments for hundreds of years, and will still be needed in not only 50, but another 100 years. Some of these people from Team NEO do not live in Lorraine County, so they do not understand the farming way of life. If they lived here, they would understand why we are so mad. Lorraine County commissioners have mentioned how Lorraine County is a great place to live and how this mega site is a future for our kids. They are right, Lorraine County is a great place to live. But because of our farmland and rural lifestyle, that makes it great. But they are terribly low on industry development. Is not good future for me or any kid, because it is destroying farmland and can be pollution and health issues. Rezoning farmland is a loss of food for the future. Technology is changing every day, but we need the farmland that will never change. It's like a snowball. When the first 1% is gone, another 1% is gone. If you decide to rezone this land from agricultural to industrial, it can never go back to farmland ever again. We don't need more industry. We need fresh food sources from farmland. The people from Team NEO and county officials are trying to rob me of my future by destroying farmland. I am begging the zoning board and the trustees to please say no to the rezoning applications, and yes to keeping Lorraine County rural. Saying no to the rezoning of the farmland will be saying yes to future farmers like me. Your decision directly impacts my future way of life.
2299 Westboro Road, North, Elyria, Ohio, 44035. My name is Amanda Joan Quimper. I'm the creator of AwakenAndUnite.com. I'm also a member of the Lorain County Committee of Safety, a lawful assembly settled on the land under the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights, the right to assemble. Formed by and for the people of Lorain County, this assembly exists to uphold our unalienable rights, defend the Constitution, and hold public servants accountable to their oaths of office, meaning do no harm and do not trespass. We invite the people to join us in restoring self-governance, promoting truth and transparency, and protecting our communities from government or corporate overreach, abuse of power, and harm to our land, air, and water. The harms of data and or mega centers include the harms of 5G gigahertz technology, which is now expanding into 6G terahertz, which is 100 times more powerful than 5G. This direction is turning humanity into walking receivers and transmitters of electromagnetic frequencies, which is biowarfare on humanity. This is lethal. The street lights are lethal. They make you blind. The traffic lights are 5G as well. They track and trace your face. They take biometric data from you like China. Please research the term targeted individuals, because these people are emitting high levels of EMS with the nanotechnology already in their bodies acquired through food, air, and water. As shown in my documentaries at AwakenAndUnite.com. The EPA is moving to approve a new permit next week that would allow wastewater from nearly 200 data centers to be discharged into Ohio's waterways across the entire state. This is treason and unconstitutional. Ohio Congress is pushing H.R. 2289, a bill that would allow 5G antennas on almost any structure, even schools, learning centers, and housing developments. This all must stop. Our land, wildlife, and communities are under attack. The people deserve truth and protection. Wake up, rise up, and hold them accountable. I'm here in protest of any data center and or mega site in Lorain County. This is a special, non-negotiable deposit I am serving today, entrusted to our public trustees. Thank you for your service, and I pray you to act in alignment with the will of the American people.
Hello everybody, my name is Bernard Garcia. I live at 7324 Root Road, North Ridgeville, Ohio. I may be the farthest one here today, but I felt like I needed to speak out. First of all, thank you to the young gentleman who spoke earlier. You did a fantastic job, and you have a bright future in whatever you do, young man. Thank you to everyone in front of me, the prior speakers in the past, and thank you for everybody for voting so we all have a chance to have our voice heard. Why am I here? Well, my dream is I've always wanted to farm the land. My uncle had a farm growing up, and those are some of the best memories of my life. I believe that farming and working hard is honorable, and it's a good way to earn a living, and I think it's important in society. There are some points that I don't think anybody mentioned but need to be. There are 2 spring water companies in the area. How will our water supply, both from the spring and then for our farms, how will that be? This has the potential to poison that. Also, because I live in a community that's east of here, how will a potential industrial setting affect me? Like, it has the potential to poison other communities and cause a big problem there as well. I did have someone potentially speak about it earlier, but where are we going to get the fire, the sheriff, and the ambulance coverage as it is? You know, we have to think about all parts of the development, and if we care about your community, why wouldn't that be one of the first things mentioned? But I do have to mention what could potentially happen to everybody in this room if the zoning goes through. Everybody will potentially lose value to their land, their homes, to their farms, to their businesses. You guys all had a dream too, just like I do. And you moved to this area because you wanted a chance to have a fresh start, or start a family, or farm the land. And you guys might not be able to get out from under that. So I think it's important that we think about every facet when we make a decision, and please keep Lorain County rural. Thank you for your time, and don't turn these people's dreams into a nightmare.
Hi, I'm Linda Turley, and I'm from Amherst. And I came here tonight just to say that I'm so impressed by the well-spoken citizens who are using their constitutional right to let their elected officials know that they're against this development, and I hope you all will honor their wishes. I want to let everyone know that we've come to learn that there is going to be a fight in Brown Hill Township, where my family lives and where I grew up, as a data center company has bought somewhere around 160 acres on the southwest corner of Baumhart and Middle Ridge. So that will be a half a mile down Middle Ridge, down south to the turnpike. Someone else mentioned the Lorain Ford plant facility is blighted and needs redevelopment along with the Midway Mall. Let this development happen at that space that needs the redevelopment in the county, not this development out in the country where people don't want it. And I hope everyone will help fight against the data center that could come to Brown Hill Township, including the Lorain County Farmers Group who spoke here tonight. Thank you.
My name is Helen Kopp. I live in Carlisle Township. I want everyone here to know this is not just a new Russia issue. This is a county issue. This is a state issue. This is a national issue. You're trying to force something down our throats that we don't want. I have clients in Amherst Township. I have clients in Grafton. I have clients in Avon. I have clients in North Ridgeville. I travel through all these communities. I love to travel through here on Russia Road and Oberlin Road. I love the fact that I don't have a traffic light every half mile. I love the fact that you people are my neighbors, and we're all in this fight together. And let me remind you, all of you people here are public servants. We don't have to come up to you and say, oh, please, or we're begging you to. We are your bosses. Listen to us.
Good evening. My name is Lucia Martinuc, and I'm from Oberlin. And I've lived at 182 Elm Street for going on 40 years now. And I came here with one question, and the question was just this. I wanted to know if anyone had considered the Midway Mall. But then I realized that question won't be answered. So never mind. Instead, I got such an education just now. These people, they are researched, heavily researched, articulate humans who came here to say something that is not just arguable. You can argue anything. You can argue yes and no on any number of things. What they're saying is not arguable, because what they're saying is my home and my history. And I don't know how that can be ignored. If a single person loses their home or loses the quality of their home, we have done the wrong thing. Please, beyond all the thinking, consider that, because we would have done the wrong and irreversible damage. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Karen Johnson from Carlisle Township, 33 Lakeview Drive in the Brentwood Lake Development. I've been following this for the past couple months, and I've met a lot of people, and I'm very impressed with how much research has been done. because I've learned even things tonight, and I have been researching this. One of the most important things that I'd like to point out, because I keep hearing, even at the county level, that 2013 comprehensive land use plan is a lot what this is based on. And on page 414 of that comprehensive land use plan, it specifically points out land east of Oberlin Road is the area that during this planning period is the only area that you would be willing to open up to an industrial park. I'd like to quote, "This would open up a large amount of land for industrial development, which would be adequate to meet the needs of the township for the duration of this planning period," and we're still in that planning period. So I believe that you need to support and honor your own comprehensive land use plan, and that is what's safest in a legal environment. Because some people have said, well, you know, if you don't give it to them, they're just going to sue. Well, you have to honor what's in front of you, and that's what will protect you. The other thing, I'm very concerned with Team NEO's model, because their model that they have presented and even talked about in the papers is a single model on a giant parcel of land that's basically most of this rezoning between Levitt Road and Oberlin Road, and it looks nothing like an industrial park. And then the other night they started talking and they changed their tune. Well, yeah, it'll look like an, I don't think so. I don't think you just change your tune like just to placate people in the audience. The other thing is that strategic plan by Lorain County was only 1% of the people that were actually spoken with and part of this focus group. And 1% of the people, to me, in Lorain County, that's not really a vote. And it's interesting that Jeff Rydell said that it's only 1% of the farmland, so that doesn't count. I know that Micron was supposed to come here according to the commissioners. And Micron instead went to Clay, New York. And when they went to Clay, New York, the first thing they did was rezone, and they did use eminent domain to move the residents that were there. That could have come here. The only other thing is the enterprise zone. That's supposed to be revisited every year, and if it's not used, it should be relooked at. And that is the Director of Development, ODOD, under ORC 5709.61. So I just want you to be aware of that. So thank you very much.
Good evening, William Zimmerman. I'm from Avon Lake, and we've had issues with the county and episodes like this in the 6119 that they were trying to pass, which all of you will have before you shortly, I'm sure, as they come down the west side of the county. So the 6119 we killed in Avon Lake. They'll never be able to do it again. And it was because we had citizens who came and showed up and discussed the matters and made them aware of the way that we felt. We had legislative people who were trying to do their own thing. They had their own personal agenda. And what I think is lost here, many of these other residents have said stuff though, but you're an elected position to represent the people of your district. These people have made it abundantly clear. I don't understand why there would even be a second thought. For a second, real quick, I want to thank the woman here who's been holding the timer the entire time, because she's putting out some effort. So, again, the problem I had though with our legislators is that they've become ineffective leadership, irresponsible leadership, because they're pushing county personal agendas that really don't need to be. Do what the people ask. Listen. It's really a good thing to do. Listen to your constituents and do what they ask. It's an easy solution. I don't understand that. Anyhow, back to the whole thing in Vermillion. There's only one other way to kill this project. and that's to stop the sewer coming down from Vermillion. Because if they don't have sewer and they don't have water, they can't produce anything. I think that's got to be known. And the Vermillion plant's already under EPA edict because they can't have a functioning plant there. They have problems routinely. So the thing is, stay on it. The engineers have already started making their drawings and doing their task and trying to prepare it, even though they tell you, oh, we don't know what's going on. So make sure you stay on them for transparency. That's the main thing. Attend the commissioner meetings on Tuesday and Friday. If you can't, watch them on TV. Thank you for your time.
I'm Dave Roberts. I live at 401 Whitehead Road, LaGrange, Ohio. And I'm here tonight to represent the Lorraine County Committee of Safety, and I want to make aware to all the people in this room that if you want a solution, a lawful solution under the Constitution, you need to get involved with the Lorraine County Committee of Safety. And get off your butts and stand up, and I will show you how to lawfully hold every one of these people accountable under their oaths of office, to the point that we can remove them lawfully. So get in touch with me after this meeting, and I will show you how that can be happen. Thank you for your time.
Any additional comments?
Debbie Ballmer, 19361 Whitehead Road in LaGrange Township. I wholeheartedly agree with everything that everyone has said here today. And a few things I'd like to add, or ask, well, I guess we're not supposed to ask, but in regard to the current land use plan from 2013, I agree with what my Carlisle Township neighbor said, and to add to that is the current land use plan this township is working on, that I came to one of the meetings about, is that what certain leadership and developers want, or is that in line with what the people here are saying today? The developers are stating that the farmland is a small percentage of Ohio's farmland. That has nothing to do with the thriving farmland in our county. I think it's imperative to save as much of this farmland as we can. The emphasis on farmland in Ohio is important, as our state is one of the most important agricultural states in the nation. And yet big corporations want to cement over our farmlands in lieu of temporary tax zones that most likely, as some of you have stated, will have a short lifespan. Whereas farmland, as Sam stated, will probably go on for hundreds of years. All right? Our emphasis should be on protecting the farms and feeding monies into farm subsidies, as someone else said here, to enhance community development in line with the heart of that community. That's this community and our county. Not dictated by tech billionaires who could care less on how their tech park affects the residents. The introduction of industrialization to the area destroys prime farmland and will pollute other parcels of farmland adjacent to the site. We all know that. It's a no-brainer. This is a significant risk to our overall environment, not only soil, water, pollution, it will also include, as someone stated, light pollution, which people maybe haven't thought about, but that's true. It sounds like a silly pollution to be worried about, but if you live here, it is. It's important. All of this will be devastating to the biology in the area as well. Someone mentioned about the eagles. Well, this is a prime area for that. In my research thus far, there has been no EPA review or assessment that has been done, no archaeological assessment, and no long-term impact assessment. Therefore, impacts to the region cannot be correctly determined at this time, and especially when we do not know what the land is going to be built, what they're actually going to put here. They haven't said that. Also in regard to pollution, where's the health department in this? Health? It's a health issue. I haven't heard anything out of them. It deserves much deeper research to determine what is best for the people and not simply good for economic development. And I can't finish the rest of this in my amount of time, but I would like to see one more time a show of hands of how many people are opposed to this. Or stand up, please. All right, we got all the hands. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mike McDonald. I live at 8918 Oberlin Road. I'll keep this brief because I hate public speaking. There's probably a few hundred people in here now, and you guys are probably bored to death, but in order to spread awareness, I created a petition months ago, and that has almost 4,000 verified Lorraine County voter signatures. We could fill this place every single day of the week and bore you guys to death. So I just have a couple things I want to say. Like many other people have said, it's very clear nobody here wants this except the people sitting up front. And I want to say to the gentleman from Liberty Development, you might as well chalk this up to a loss and start looking anywhere else. And the people sitting up here at the table, I want to look each one of you in the eyes and just let you know that if this is accepted and this goes through, you have failed us.
My name is Rebecca O'Grady. I live at 9345 Baumhart. I'm in Brownhill Township, right around the corner from you. My husband manages one small farm in the area, and I work for another. And I would urge you to preserve our farmland, but more importantly, I would urge you to consider, I've heard a lot about there being a data center in this site, and I would like you to think about the long-term ramifications of that beyond just what they've already talked about with like pollution and our electric bills doubling, which none of us can afford. But I'd like you to also think about the impact of AI. We've already seen in the Rust Belt what happens when you send the blue-collar jobs out of our area. It's ugly. We've seen an entire generation have their opportunities destroyed by things being offshore. Now AI is coming for the white-collar jobs. There's your tax base. You've already gutted the blue-collar jobs. So do you really want to put your names on something that is going to not only destroy farmland and anger all of the people that voted for you and all the people that live in the county and make all of our lives more difficult with higher bills, because you know this is not gonna, they're getting tax abatements. They're not gonna be a net positive for us. We're gonna eat it. You know we will. You live here too. But you're also possibly participating in something that's going to destroy way more jobs than it's going to create. So I would ask you, please be good stewards and think about the long-term ramifications. The very fact that we have brownfields in Ohio shows that other people in positions similar to yours didn't do that and didn't think about the long term. Please do not be the authors of the next brownfield.
I'm John Alecki from 44011 Albrecht Road, and if I said anything in this meeting, it would be redundant because everybody said everything we need to say. But when this started, first person that walked up here had a question, and it was put down, we don't answer questions. This is comments. It says right there, comment shall be. So my comment is, all of these questions need to be answered. That's not a question. That's a comment. They need to be answered, and we need to set up another meeting, another time where we can get together where all these questions are answered. There's hundreds of them, and we need to have answers. And I don't like that where it says comments, because we're not being told anything. Thank you.
I love public speaking, so it's kind of hard for me. My name is Rachel Woodruff, and I am from Brownhelm Township. I live on Middle Ridge Road. I'm here in support of New Russia Township and everything that's happening to you guys. We have on the corner of, another lady mentioned it, on the corner of Middle Ridge and Baumhart, a real estate company that specializes in data centers purchased a huge swath of land on that corner that is almost directly across from my house. So when you guys vote, if you vote, to change this zoning, this is the tip of the iceberg. You guys are setting precedent. It is not just about this township, I mean, this is super important for New Russia Township, but it's not just New Russia Township. It affects, this is gonna be, as a couple, I think the little gentleman said, this is a snowball. And y'all are gonna start it. So please think about Lorraine County in addition to New Russia Township. Thank you.
Any additional comments?
Good evening. My name is Sharon Patman. I grew up on Butternut Ridge. My dad moved us there when I was 13 years old. And so I grew up living in the country and appreciating the lifestyle of living in the township. And I would come home, even after I graduated from college and I moved away, I'd come home all the time, and this was home. And I always took vacation at fair time to go to Lorraine County Fair. I still do. I probably haven't missed a year. I've been there since I was 2 years old. So, but I'm talking to a lifestyle. Whenever you do a project, you look at the successes, you look at the next times. You look at the pros, you look at the cons. What is it that is the deal breaker? What is it that helps you make the decision? Listen to the hearts of what everyone has said. You can make a case for doing it. You can make cases for not doing it. But you're talking about people's lives. That young man talked about, I want to grow up and I want to continue my legacy and be a farmer one day. When I think of my dad was a township trustee here in New Russia Township for 26 years. He left a legacy that I want to see continued. I was raised on preserve green space, recycle or die, right? And so, is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing when we create this? Yes, we want to have jobs, but where is the right space for it? Is that here, or is that somewhere else? Everyone is talking about going out and taking care of themselves and their families and preserving their legacies, and we want to maintain that. And then I'll also add this, because I like animals, all right? We build this center, this mega center. Where are the deer going? Where are the ducks going? Where are the eagles going, all right? When you drive down the road, what are the cars and the cows and the pigs and the sheep going to hear, right? I mean, we have not only just the people, but, you know, our animals. Think about how they're going to react. Think about the land that we're developing for farmland. So we want to make sure we're preserving for today and tomorrow. And so I just thank you for the opportunity to be able to share. My purpose for stepping up here is to say, consider the hearts of everyone that's in this room. Thank you.
Any additional comments? All right, I don't see any hands or anything. All right, can I get a motion? Oh, wait, sorry. Would the applicant like to respond to any of the comments they've heard?
So as I was saying earlier, thanks everyone. Appreciate the comments. A couple things. What do you want? Just up here.
3 minutes.
The fidelity you have to that 3-minute clock was impressive. and that's funnier than I'm gonna give you credit for right now, but a couple things I want to point out that are more about process than anything else, and there are a lot of unanswered questions, that's fair. Part of what's being requested here is to go to the same zoning, the industrial park, and it's been pointed out, obviously there's a lot of folks who've done a lot of research and reading here, just like we do when we look at a site. If you look at the allowed uses in the industrial park, that'll give you a sense of what types of companies we're looking at that potentially could come to this location. More importantly, whatever happens in the future has to go back through the township, right? So if a specific company is coming here to develop under that zoning, it has to go back to the township. The most important point, since my time is ticking away here though, is I don't believe any of these folks are elected. Is that correct? You're all appointed. You're citizen volunteers, right, that are appointed. True enough. But again, and they have a big job and they have a big responsibility, but they are doing this on a volunteer basis. And just so you know, their perspective on this is that they're doing recommendation work to the trustees. Their job is to look at the codes, and that their job is to make a recommendation based on what's in those codes. And those codes, whether you may not like it, we also have rights under those codes as they are right now. We have the right to make these requests. We have the right under the existing zoning, potentially, to develop that property as it's zoned today. So pitting it against being just farmland, no development at all, I mean, there are zoning rights today for that site. There are zoning rights under the industrial park for the airport property right now. Hang on a second, let me do it. But the comment has been that it shouldn't be developed at all, or it can't be developed at all because it's agricultural preservation. That's not true. It can be developed under the existing zoning right now. What we're trying to do, and I know the skepticism is thick in here, you can shout at me all you want, but the idea here is to try to actually create jobs. And what you hear all the time is, folks are supportive of job creation as long as it's somewhere else. Well, in the United States, if we keep saying put it somewhere else, it's never gonna happen. And so one of the opportunities we see here, because again, for the reasons we looked at this site, under the comp plan, because of the enterprise zone, because of the zoning at the airport, localizing this type of development in this area is where we came forward with this request. And that's why we've asked for the commission's consideration tonight, so thank you.
Think about money in your pocket.
Okay, from the zoning commission, can I get a motion to close the public comment period? That was Marita. Second was Kimberly. All right, vote, Marita, Kimberly, Dawn, Gina, Jim, yes. Wow.
You've all been waiting for.
All right, now is the commission discussion period. I want to start out by going through a few things that we need to make sure we're considering. The parcels are within the Enterprise Zone 210C established in 1994. Per the trustee resolution for establishing the Enterprise Zone, the board finds and determines that designation of the zone will promote the economic welfare of the residents of the township by creating new jobs and retaining and preserving current jobs and employment opportunities within such areas as is in the best interest of said township. The 2013 comprehensive plan indicated land around the airport should be designated as light industrial or industrial park. It went on to say, should be adequate to meet the needs of the township for the duration of the planning period. Along with the enterprise zone and foreign trade zone designations, Lorain County Regional Airport will be in a tremendous position to attract first-class industries to the area. New Russia Township needs to be prepared to assist in that effort, as it would provide a significant increase to the township and school district tax bases, while at the same time protecting its interests. The county has received funding to support sewer expansion to this area. The county is planning on expanding water supply to this area. Roads on the east and south side of the said parcels are county roads. Road on the west side of the parcels is a state route. The parcels mainly border industrial park on the east and general business on the west, while bordering agricultural residential on the north and south. Our current zoning resolution requires a minimum of 100 acres for an industrial park, and this request for 582.8 acres is more than meets the minimum requirement. Rezoning to industrial park does not prohibit the land from being used as agriculture. The airport area was rezoned and is still being used for agriculture. Zoning is in place to require large buffers between industrial and residential uses. Several of the questions tonight were relevant to potential next steps, such as site plan reviews, architectural reviews, zoning permits, conditional use permits, and commercial building permits. In those steps, we would deal with a particular business when it is proposed and requirements associated with proximity to adjacent properties, traffic, adequacy of adjacent roadways, lighting, stormwater, sewers, water, landscaping, parking, etc. However, that is not part of the criteria for rezoning, and nothing can be built without meeting those previously mentioned requirements. Keeping the current zoning does not necessarily mean that the land will continue to be farmed. The current zoning allows for one house per 2 acres, so over 200 homes could be built on those parcels under the current zoning. Several of the parcels also include GB1 zoning, and those could be used for businesses as designated in our zoning. Any additional, would people like to discuss this on the board before we start the motion?
There's a lot to be considered here. I feel like, I don't know if I'm speaking on behalf of the board, that maybe we need more time to deliberate rather than coming up with a decision tonight. And I'd like to make a motion for a continuance.
Hold on a second. All right, Dawn made a motion. The motion was to,
Continue.
for continuance of the public hearing.
Well, on voting, correct?
I just want to be clear what you're trying to make a motion on.
On the voting. So the voting.
So we have up to 30 days after this public hearing is potentially closed in order to vote. But we'll need to announce a special meeting in order to do that. So I'm just asking again, are we going to potentially motion to close this hearing and then vote at a later time at a special meeting?
Yes, yes.
All right. Hold on. This is bureaucracy at work. All right, we need to set that within less than 30 days. Is there a proposal for a date? I do not, just a second. Let me look up the hall availability, just a second. Let's go ahead and do this if we're going to do it. All right, so the latest it can be is, it's about the 9th of January. About what time frame are you guys looking at? So I can look up the hall availability. How long do you think you need? Okay.
How about the 6th?
All right, let me look. The 6th is available. Oh, that is during the that's the same night as the trustees meeting, sorry.
How about the 5th?
5th is available. All right, so can I get a motion for setting a special zoning commission meeting?
6 o'clock.
On the 5th of January at 6 p.m. Can I get that motion? That was Gina.
I'll second.
Who wanted a second?
I'll second it.
All right, that was Dawn. All right, vote on Gina.
Yes.
Dawn.
Yes.
Marita. Kimberly.
Yes.
Jim, yes. All right, so there will be a special meeting of the CBC on the 5th of January at 6 p.m. and that'll be here at Cedar East. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing? All right, that was Kimberly. Gina seconded it. All right, vote. Kimberly? Gina? Dawn? Marita? Jim, yes, the public hearing is adjourned.